Good morning, everybody. Hey, welcome to this Money Monday coaching call. Hope you all are doing well, rocking and rolling. Hope you all had a great weekend. I've got a little bit. I don't know if it's a summer cold or heat cold. I was sitting all day, most of the day Friday, and a big chunk of Saturday out in the heat at baseball tournament. Actually, I think. Hey, Don, I see you're on. I think we're up in your neck of the woods, Rippon Springs, for the local high school. Had a playoff series in the area. They won the first game, but unfortunately, they lost the best of three series to a San Antonio team. So our baseball season, or our season of watching high school baseball, has gone away. But it gave me thought to talk a little bit about today's coaching call with you, and I wanted to go through just a little bit with you guys out there in an aspect of it. I'm a huge baseball fan. All right. I was better as a linebacker in college and playing football. Obviously, that was the sport I was better at. Don't get me wrong, I love football, college football especially, but baseball I absolutely love. I mean, I've been fortunate enough to be about 22, 23 of the 30 Major League Baseball parks, and where we sit, it basically butts up right next to the high school softball and high school baseball fields for Westwood High School here. It's always a joy. I love the passion. And there's a lot of similarities in note investing with baseball, whether you believe it or not. I've done some different webinars in the past. Are you a five tool player or five tool investor? You know, and they talk about in baseball, a five tool player is being able to hit for average, hit for power, being able to steal base, throw, and there's a fifth one I can't think about it right now. I'm just tired and still got this cold, but there's different things when it comes to being good at baseball as it is to coming being a good note investor or a good real estate investor. The big thing is I don't think you can do it all yourself. I know you can't do it all. So you can't throw and hit and play all nine positions. You got to have team and support staff. And a lot of that with the team and support staff is like your servicing company, your your attorneys are like your closers, your big pitchers, your VAs, your assistants are helping you with the little things out there, and then other investors out there in your team that can be bird dogs, referrals, coaches for you out there. And our Westwood team started off kind of rough. I mean, Westwood's is a big 6A high school here, and they've got usually have a really good baseball program. The head coach has been here for 12 years. A couple years ago, they made all the way to the state tournament. But this year it didn't start off so well. It was kind of hit and miss. The team's got a couple guys going on and playing in college. One at Connecticut, one at committed to Texas. I think he's going to community college. And a couple other guys are going other places. But we have a very senior laden team. They've been around for a long time. They play together a long time. 7 on the 9 starters are all seniors, and then we've got 2 pitchers that are also seniors that are going on. But you have a lot of people coming up that did well. The junior varsity program won the district and stuff like that. But our team evolved quite a bit throughout the year. They got better at what they were doing to the point that they won basically 10 of their last 11 games. And until they lost the last 2 games in the playoffs here in the area round, or in the regional round, they had won 14 out of 15, something like that. But they barely scraped into the playoffs. They had to win the last district game to clinch. Well, they didn't clinch. They lost the last district game, so they had to go into a 1-game playoff for the last playoff spot here in the district, and they beat their rival Vandergrift here by coming back in the bottom of the 7th inning. They only played 7 innings in high school to score 4 runs in the bottom of the 6th to then basically win and go to the playoffs. Well, then they advanced further than anybody else in the area. And so the 4th place team went further than the district champion, and then the other and 3 teams ahead of them all got knocked out way before they did. So they went further than anybody else in the area here in Austin, which is something to be very proud of. But they developed, they were hit and miss. They're almost a 500 team, average team to begin with, but they got better clutch hitting. Their pitching got better. The top of the lineup did well. The bottom of the lineup did just as well, got better. But they did a lot of things well. They took walks. They were patient at the plate. They bunted well. They did a lot of little things that helped them win the big game. And that's one of the things I love about them. They didn't just go up there and hit home runs every time. You're wrong. They had a couple guys that hit home runs. Their outfielder and starting pitcher. He's a senior. Another outfielder. Their first baseman, star pitcher, and shortstop. He plays all three things. He's hit home runs. Their catcher, who's a senior, hit a couple home runs. But the winning and some of these playoff games, it wasn't the big names. It was their bottom of the lineup. It was their sophomore outfielder. It was their junior second baseman who bunted for base hits, who bunted people home, runs. There's a lot of things that goes into winning, and that's what helped them. And how they lost their game at the end, they lost it by not being good at the little things, not taking pitches, not bunting people over into the little things. They kept swinging for the fences, and unfortunately, it's how they lost the last game, 5-2, versus the San Antonio team. And that's the thing. You have to look at your note business. There's a lot of little things that go well. Yes, we all would love just to buy notes and hit them out of the park, hit grand slams, but you're not going to do that right out of the park. And that's the same thing with these guys here, these seniors. You think about how many at-bats they've taken over their 4 years, how much they played in the Little League beforehand, how many times in the batting cage, taking bat, how many swings they have to get at to where they're at, where they're going on that next level into college. And maybe, who knows, after that, get drafted and stuff like that. And that's the thing I think we put it. I talk to people all the time. Like, I was having a conversation with somebody, a investor out of Orlando reached out to me on Thursday about a couple deals. Like, oh, I only want this. I only want this. And I'm like, well, that's not the way it works. It doesn't work just for these great, amazing deals. If you're going to look for that, you've got to put in the work. I had this loan officer reach out. Oh, it's not going so well in the mortgage business. I want to get in the note business. Great. Well, you need to start putting in the work. Well, I already know everything. I said, you don't know everything. You've got to put the work in, and reaching out to banks to find deals, making offers, getting better at your craft, talking to investors, marketing for raising capital. You got to get in the process of these little things of taking batting practice, of practicing, and getting the ball going. And that's why with that tape that we uploaded last week for you guys, had a few people reach out to get ready to make offers, but I'm really kind of surprised at the lack of people making offers. And I get it. A lot of people are like, oh my God, maybe I don't have the capital. Well, if you don't have the capital now, the investors, or you're not ready to make an offer on some stuff, guess what? You're never going to get ready if you don't start doing the things that you do. Having time, having the time now to make offers where you've got a little bit of time to raise capital, that's what it comes down to. There's no perfect time. I'm going to step in this time and hit a home run this time. You have to get in the process. I had one guy that reached out to me about 3 weeks ago. He's like, I'm looking for notes, tapes. I'm looking for tapes. I'm going to call all these banks. I'm like, well, great. There's a tape sitting in your base camp now with a bunch of potential bids for you to make offers on. Oh, I need to take a look at that. Look, there's stuff in front of you that you're missing out on. Okay. And I get it. We're busy. It's a busy time of the year. You got graduations in high school and college and prom and all that other good stuff that people have when you have kids. End of the school year. I get it. I understand it. But you still got to set aside the time to put in the work. You got to put in the time on a week in, week out basis. And it doesn't need to be a lot. You know what, these guys are playing in high school, they're not playing every day. They were playing basically twice, but usually Tuesdays and Fridays, or just Friday, or Thursday, Friday, and maybe Saturday with the playoffs and stuff like that. But what are they doing? The days that they're not playing, the day after they play their rest, then they're practicing, they're hitting, they're going through scenarios, they're practice fielding, they're looking at offers, they're making offers, they're talking. You get what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? That's why I like baseball so much, is that there's so much that philosophy of showing up a little bit each day and showing up and showing up and showing up and practicing, so that when it does come game time, you're ready to rock and roll. Now, I wasn't the greatest high school baseball player. I'll tell you that right now. I played like a linebacker. Okay. I wasn't afraid to sit in there and take a hit ball, but I wasn't such a good hitter. I was an okay fielder. I played outfield, center field, and first base, but my big thing was my speed. I could get on the pass and I could steal bases. And I was aggressive. I would get picked off every once in a while, but I was very aggressive, led the team, and stolen bases, stuff like that. Uh, scored the winning run against our number where we beat the biggest rival in the district, was the number one team in the state at the time to clinch the playoff berth. Those are some great things. Whoopie freaking do. That was 30 years ago. But what I learned from Coach Mark Wart, my high school baseball coach, still lives me today. It's the practice of the little things. It's the practice of bunting. It's the practice of making offers. It's the little things that you have to do on a day in out basis so that when you do go in the game, you're ready to rock and roll. And many of us are just sitting on the sidelines watching. We want to get in the game, but we're not doing the little things that we need to do on a day out basis. I'm glad Cal is on here. I see Cal. Hey, buddy, I know it's a holiday up there in Canada. You're in the game, and you're a big baseball fan. I know he's a big Diamondbacks fan. He was all excited to make the World Series last year. Big baseball fan. It's one of the great things. But Cal's in the game. Cal's doing the things a little bit. He's doing two things. He's working his full-time job, and then the part-time, he's doing the little things in practice for his note business. He's making offers. He's reaching out to investors. He's marketing. He's posting little things on YouTube around his schedule. And that's why he's closing on deals. That's why he's talking to investors and raising capital, and big things are getting better. He's not trying to hit a home run every time. Okay. He's understand that, hey, singles and doubles will get you into the Hall of Fame. Buying a non-performing note that can return and start paying on time, or buying a performing note at a discount and making 8 to 9% on his side plus his investor side. That's a great business model to build. It just needs to do more of it, and it comes with more offers, more time. Okay. Sal says, "Hey Scott, glad you are putting things in baseball terms so that I understand what you were talking about." I'm glad you do that too. There, hey. But that's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. Is look, there's 185 notes. Not every one of them deals, but you know what? Find you a deal or two. Look at them, make some offers. I mean, I got to give a big shout out to Carmela Vassar on here. All right. And Serena and Crystal, you guys bought a little note, your first note in Mississippi. It was a little base hit, paid off already. Wasn't a big bounce, but got you comfortable doing stuff. So guess what? Go make some more offers. Get that process. Get outside of your comfort zone to start talking to local investors. You've got such a great network in Philadelphia. Why not go out and look at the assets in Philadelphia? Why not share those with your network? I had a realtor that reached out to me this morning on my morning walk. He's been a realtor for 20 years, gone from the residential side of the business to the commercial side of the business. And he was saying it's been the worst year. It's been the worst year since back in 2009 or 10 when he had his truck repoed. Okay. I was like, listen, hey, you got through that crappy time to be stronger now. What did you learn? He goes, well, I need to be more adaptable to what's going on. I need to change my business model. I said, well, are you doing that? He goes, no, I'm still doing the same things I was doing 2 years ago. I was like, well, you got to change that. I was like, you're in a commercial space. There's a ton of commercial foreclosures. I'm getting alerts every day. I was well, I also see if you're in the land business, why aren't you going out and doing videos of like the land that you're selling? Like we see online, these things are doing really, oh yeah, I follow that guy. I go, well, then why don't you go do what's working for him? There's a guy out in Weimar, Texas. He looks like he's got this long ass beard, like literally about 18 inches beard. He's out walking land. He's selling with short videos talking about, hey, here's this 10-acre parcel with this pond in Weimar, Texas, with this little house on it. We're selling it for $249. If you bring 25 grand, we'll owner financing and carry it. I was like, that's a great business model. Getting the word out there, sharing that stuff. Just get outside your comfort zone. You have to share more, because here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. My good friend Krista Mashore, she is one of the top real estate agents in the country. She's out of California, $1 million producer, multi-million-dollar producer. If you've ever watched Tony Robbins, she's actually a Tony Robbins coach. She's been on there. But Chris is phenomenal. I've had her on my podcast in the past. She's been on mine. She's like so many agents and realtors, loan officers are getting out of space because they've been fat and happy. They've been able to do well in an increasing market. Well, the market's gotten very chaotic. Can we agree? Both residential, commercial side. You can't do the same things that you used to do because it's not the same market. You have to get up and start sharing things on a regular basis. You have to share different things. You got to be out in front of the community because most people think of the market forward. But guess what? There's money made in an up and a down market, no matter what it is in real estate. You just got to know how to adapt to the situation. Because look, there's properties being bought and sold. There's stuff in distress. There's things out there. Those agents that understand marketing and the need to be out in front of their audience more so now than ever before is what's going to separate those that are successful from those that get the heck out of Dodge or have to go get a JOB. And getting a JOB is not bad. Me wrong. Okay. Sometimes we've got to do what we got to do to put food on the table. Totally makes sense. But if you're just letting your fears stop you from marketing, sharing what you got going on, and that's what's holding you back, well, then it's not fearful enough. You're not outside your comfort zone long enough. And maybe it's a confidence factor. Maybe you don't believe in yourself. And that's a baseball thing too. You can tell the players that believe in themselves versus those that don't believe in themselves. I'll give you a great example. On the team on Westwood, we had a third baseman who actually he took first team all district honors just to this morning, but he didn't play like the last 8 games, the 3 rounds of the playoffs and the last 2 games because he tore his rotator cuff. He can hit, but he just can't throw right now. Well, he'll come back and be fine, according to his dad. So a freshman, get this, a freshman player, we got to know his parents and grandparents from sitting with him in the stands. He gets pulled up into being starting third baseman on a playoff game. Third base is the hot corner, right? He's a good kid. He also played a little bit of catcher, but he played probably third base. And it's a nerve-wracking thing on that hot corner. Not as a hot corner where you get things coming at you to line drive. It's also a long throw. You got to be on time. And first playoff game, he gets it, boom, throws it over the first baseman. And you can see it in his head, okay? You can see it in his head. Oh, crap. Well, guess what? A couple innings later, did the same thing through airmail to catch. And after doing that, every time it hit him, you could see him struggle with that. Like, oh, my God, I want to throw it over. Just take it easy. Just step and throw. Step and throw. He could make that throw many a time in practice. But when he got in the game, he was nervous. It caused him to make another error or two. But when he finally got through the facet of stop overthinking it and just make the throw, he threw it right on the line, threw out a couple runners. But you could see that evolving over the last 3 weeks with it. Oh my God. It's like he had an error, at least one error in 3 or 4 straight games from just overthinking it. And that's what you just got to step in and throw. Get up there in line. Here, one of the easiest things you can do, just if you're out looking at property or you see a foreclosure or something like that, just share what you're working on, ladies and gentlemen. One thing that's been working for me, I found this, is I follow a couple guys on LinkedIn that share like distressed real estate. Well, I've been taking the image that they've been sharing and the breakdown of the deal. Oh, I like that. I'm going to take that and I create a little short, like a little TikTok video, 1 minute long video talking about that foreclosure assets, the details of it, and sharing it. Boom. I did one Saturday morning. It got like 11,000 views. I did one last Saturday, 32,000 views. That's just on one platform, another 1,100. On others are 500 views on Facebook. I've had people seeing that and opting in, investors taking interest, that kind of stuff. Those are things that you all can do. You guys could literally pull up screenshots of those properties on the tape on one that you like and start talking about it. I was out in Indiana last week. Actually, sorry, earlier last week. I flew out there to take a look at a property that we've got that we're rehabbing and then looked at some of the other bids and stuff like that and walked around the properties. That's great. I could see it with my own eyes. I found a couple nuggets that I'm really excited about. Really excited about. I can't tell you until after the fact, but I'm really excited about some of those opportunities. And I'm not afraid to share it because I've basically, if I want to, I've already raised capital for stuff like that. All right. The idea here, ladies, is you got to, ladies and gentlemen, you have to share what you're working on. You got to share with your network because we all have an amazing network of people around us, people that you don't even know. Okay. And that's the one thing over the last 3 months I've gotten to enjoy is getting like Game days, I'm like leaving here. I'm going to the park. I don't know a lot of people's names because they're all parents of their kids, but you get to know a few people and they get to recognize you. And so the thing was always funny is going to the game. They're like, "Oh, whose kid is yours?" I'm like, "I don't have a kid. I don't have a horse in this race. I live over there." And they're like, "Oh my God, that's so amazing." And that's the same thing with you, ladies and gentlemen. You all have a bigger network that's there to support you. You just don't know about it. People are just blown away that we show up to games because we live near the field. We don't have any kids in it, but we love baseball. And we've come out to support them. So when Westwood lost on Saturday afternoon, it was like a loss. We literally felt a loss Sunday morning. Like, man, there's no more games to go to. No more of these kids to root on that we've gotten to know. Both the softball girls, the softball didn't do well. They didn't make the playoffs, but we got to know who some of those girls are and the coach, and then got to know the guys and sit with the parents and sit with the parents in the stands. Got to know it's that community of support. But you showed up. You were present. Many of you are not present in your businesses. You're there, but nobody knows it. Okay. The more present you are, the more support you're going to get from your community. Yeah, you're going to have the haters. There's enough of those haters. Just block them, unsubscribe, stuff like that. But show up day in. And that's half of success is just showing up and being present in your businesses, sharing what's going on, working through deals, and just getting out in community. I mean, if you look at like Cal, if you looked at, I guarantee you've had, because I see it with people opting in, responding to your postcards like you talked about, or going to your website. You have people communicating. You have investors reaching out to you because of the things you do on a day in, day out basis. And a lot of times it can be frustrating because it's not happening as fast as you want it to happen, right? We all want things to be instantaneous success. But you got to put in that time. You're going to have some strikeouts. You're going to get hit by some pitches, but you're going to have some singles and doubles. You're going to have some little bunts that go away that turn into RBI games. All right. And that's my biggest challenge to you, ladies and gentlemen, is as we get into the summer here, it's going to get hot. It's going to be 100 degrees, 110 plus degrees here in Austin, Texas. You're not going to be outside. You're going to be inside. What can you do inside to get stuff done? Guess what? Start market your business more. Talk about the properties you're bidding on. Talk about the deals you're bidding on. I got a text message from a widow of one of my students this morning. Actually, an email from it wasn't a text, it was an email. And our friend and fellow note investor, WCN crew member when he was around, Wayne Brinside, passed away a couple years ago. And his wife reached out to me this morning and said, I just wanted to share something with you. He had more pictures of the note class and your face on screen than he did of his own son, who was a congressman at the time, which brought a tear to my eye. And I chuckled because Wayne was not the most financially or not the most technologically savvy person, but he could do stuff with his phone. I remember him one time. He had a couple pictures of a property he was making an offer on. He made a note on. He bought a few notes, about 4 or 5 non-performing notes. He was just doing a part-time thing in his retirement. I remember one time he printed out a picture. He printed that picture of the property, put it on a chair, and he pulled his phone out and he took a video of him talking about the asset on his chair, not on his computer. He printed it out and you could see it. He crossed it, but he talked about it. And I loved it because at least he found a way. Nobody cared that it was a printed photo on his chair. It got views. It got people talking because he talked about the deal. It wasn't polished by any. He wasn't the most savvy, hashtag savvy, but he did the work. He showed up. And you know what? He got better over time. For Wayne, who was in his 80s, I believe, maybe he was 90. I can't remember how old exactly Wayne was. Bless his soul. But he showed up. He showed up to every Money Monday. He showed up and listened to videos. He got better at his craft and he networked. He shared. He commented on things. He started sharing things on LinkedIn. And if he can do that, ladies and gentlemen, what's stopping you from doing it? He didn't need the note business. He was completely financially savvy, set, but he liked it. Liked the note business. He liked that. He bought some notes. He would make offers and stuff, or gets you make an offer. He called me up, pick my brain on stuff. We talk about it. And I said, yeah, I think it's a great deal, or maybe counter back at that. And he found success that way. Many of you that are watching this, you're more financially, technologically savvy and more educated than really 99.9% of real estate investors out there. But you're not doing the things you need to do. There's an event coming next weekend, and they'll have about 130, maybe 150 people at it. And they'll talk about the theory of note investing. They'll talk about how to look at a deal or how to structure another finance deal. It's great. But you know what they will not have? Is somebody there showing them the way to how to market in today's business. Because it's great to be the most technological. If you know the numbers and you know how to get as creative as you want to be, that's great. That's phenomenal. But if you can't share that with your audience, you can't share your message with your network, you can't, it's hard to raise capital that way. It's hard to find deals that way. If you're just looking at the paper stacks or the JKPs, if those are the only websites, there's no marketing taking place. And that's the big thing that's lacking in the note business. People know how to market. And I know there's few that, I'm very proud of the fact that our students are doing a great job in their marketing and they stand out. They find deals, they find investors reach because they know actually how to market, right? What I'm telling you, what I'm showing you, what I teach you guys is not rocket science. It's easy. You just have to get better at it. And that comes from swings. It comes from practice swings. It comes from posting something. It's from just getting better at what you do day in, day out. You've got to put the time, you got to put the commitment in to find some things. And you still have an opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. There's still that 188 notes, 185 notes sitting in Basecamp for you guys to take a look at, make some offers on. If you want to make some offers, let me know. We're glad to help you make an offer in one way or another. I've got some offers going. I'll be putting them in on Friday so that it's done before the weekend. So, because Monday is a holiday, I don't think they realized it was a holiday because Monday is Memorial Day. We will not have a coaching call next Monday. But that doesn't mean you can't show up. You've got 4 days now, Monday through Thursday, unless you're going to take if you're going to take a long 4-day weekend, that's great. Take it, enjoy it. But get up and share something, make some offers, talk about a deal or two you want, just share it, your network. Yeah, you're not going to have a lot of views, but all you need is one view. One person different to see your video, one person different to see your posting. If you do that, one new one a day, it will grow. That was one of the most underlying things that Gary Vaynerchuk taught me years ago. Years ago, before I started doing the Note Closer Show. All right. I remember going to an event in Vegas and Gary Vaynerchuk and spoke on stage. It was in Las Vegas. Then I heard Robert Herjavec, Kevin Harrington, 2 Shark Tank guys get up there and they were talking about you have to share your message. It doesn't need to go viral. It's great when you have big numbers. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, I'm excited. I got 30,000 views or 20,000 views on a video. That's great. But you know how I got 30,000 views? It was posting 200 little videos that got me 1 view, 5 views, 10 views, 200 views, 600 views, 1,000 views. You can't post one video and get 30,000 views. You can if you could buy views, but they're all probably going to be from little young Taiwanese boys or girls that have no merit on your thing. You got to share with your network, share with your audience, because if you do it long enough, consistently, you keep showing up and showing up and showing up, guess what? Your network will show up as well. And before too long, you will be hitting home runs out. You will be hitting better base hits. You'll be getting better at your craft from sharing in on a regular basis. Because that's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody loves a winner. Everybody loves to see a champion, but they don't know the amount of work that people put in to what they do on a day in, day out, weekly, monthly basis to get to that point. Because champions and winners, it's great that they're at the top, but what you don't follow through is how committed they are to their craft on a day in, day out, week in, week out business. And that's how greatness is built. It's not built in that one game, one playoff, one at bat. It's built in the millions of swings, the million of practices, the million of throws ahead of time, so that when it does arrive, the big moment arrives, they're ready for the taking. And that's what most of you all are. You want the big moments, but you're not ready for that big moment. You're not ready for that amazing deal to fall in your lap because you haven't marketed to your audience. You haven't raised capital. You haven't made the network. You haven't built your network for your network to be able to help you back. So get out there. Please take some action, ladies and gentlemen. I want nothing but success for each and every one of you. If I know you, you know I love you. I want success for you. If you've only seen me online, I think you know I want success based on what we put out on a regular basis for you. Nobody else does that. But that's why we have the #1 channel, #1 podcast, is because we want to keep giving you the tools and we believe in you. No matter what your experience is, no matter what age bracket you're in, no matter what you've got in the bank or what you don't have in the bank, we are here to help. So go out and get your own big W. Go get a win today and get a win every day by showing up, sharing, getting something done. Put in that investment bank of yourself. A little bit of investment in yourself goes a long way as it compounds and grows. So go out, take some action, everybody, and we'll see you at the top. All right. If you have any questions, please ask. We're here for you. Or feel free to go to talkwithscottcarson.com, book a call with me. If you want to make some offers on these things, that might be a great thing to do. Talkwithscottcarson.com, get on my schedule. I'll probably have some limited availability after the 28th, just because I've got a trip planned. But I'll still be available for via text, stuff like that. So please feel free to reach out to me, guys. Let's get some bids in. Let's get some stuff. Let's get this tape working you to help you get some home runs, some base hits, and get that average back up for you. All right, everybody. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you guys